Hello, and welcome to the Telescope Show. We laugh, we discover God, and we totally nerd out. Welcome to episode 150. My name is Matthew Seipel-Anderson.
And I am Katie Seipel-Anderson.
So happy you're listening and hanging out with us today. Today we're talking about Antman and Wasp, Quantumania, as well as Picard, episode 1.
Season 3.
So, if you're listening, make sure to like and subscribe. You can do that if you're on an iPhone by going over to your Apple Podcast app. Look us up and subscribe to the show. If you're not on an Apple device, you can also...
If you're looking us up on Apple, too, make sure and put in the Telescope Show. Because if you put in Telescope Podcast, other podcasts tend to come up.
You don't want those other podcasts. You want the real deal.
You want this one, yes.
You can also subscribe to us on Spotify if you use that as your music listening app. Google Podcasts is a great one if you're on a non-Apple device. And there are many other podcast-specific apps, such as Overcast, and there are lots of them. But get on a podcast app and subscribe to the show.
Well, Matt.
Yes?
For episode 150... we only have one Would You Rather, and it isn't just for you. It's for everyone out there listening. And it's a doozy.
Ooh.
Doozy.
Doozy.
Wonder whoever came up with that. Anyway, I'm not going to look into that yet. Would you rather go on a 5-year journey aboard the Star Trek Enterprise with the captain of your choice, or go on a 5-year journey with Guardians of the Galaxy? 5 years is a long time.
It's a commitment.
So then you have to kind of think long term. You're not just on like a 2-week journey with these people. This would be something you'd want. Like,
you might go on some crazy adventure with the Guardians. You might be attacked by Romulans on the board of the Enterprise. Whew. I think I'm going to go Enterprise, though.
And who's the captain?
Well, let me think about that for a second. What would you rather do?
I was initially thinking the Star Trek Enterprise because I kind of feel like it'd probably be more comfortable for a 5-year journey. You've got like the holodeck and you've got a lot of resources for yourself. I'm sure there's like exercise rooms. And I mean, man, the thing is so big you could just like run around the halls. So I was kind of thinking Star Trek Enterprise. You've got a lot of people. So you would, if you find someone that grates you the wrong way at some point in your 5-year journey, you could probably avoid them a little easier. So I would probably say Star Trek Enterprise as well, considering it's a 5-year journey.
Yeah, I mean, they do concerts and plays. There's culture.
But then there's also a lot of, like, I'm sure you'd have more kind of work stuff you'd have to do. You'd have your chores and your job. So it might be a little more like regular life, just in space. And maybe if you want a 5-year break from regular life, you'd rather do Guardians of the Galaxy, which will probably be really...
fun and crazy.
Yeah, fun and crazy, probably not super routine.
What if Thor was aboard the ship?
Ooh.
Because he did roll with them for quite a while.
I might just have to do Guardians of the Galaxy then.
Here's a thought.
If it was like a 1-year journey, I'd do Guardians of the Galaxy. I just think that 5 years would even be a long time to be around Thor.
That's so funny. Do you think the Guardians of the Galaxy would take more shore visits, like visit more planets?
I would hope so, because their ship is kind of small. Wouldn't you feel a little crammed after a while?
Totally.
Especially with, like, Thor on board, too. You've got a lot of big personalities in a little space there.
Yeah, that'd be rough. So going back to your other question, what captain would I choose? I think I might want to choose Kirk. However, after some thought, I might want to go with Captain Pike.
The first.
Yeah, because I kind of like him. He's got kind of this mix of being laid back, but also being a good leader.
Yeah, but, I mean, wouldn't you want to experience Spock, too?
Maybe. For 5 years?
Well.
5 years of logic. No, I think so. I think it'd be pretty cool to hang out with all those iconic characters.
Like, seeing the dynamic between Kirk and Spock would be really interesting.
That's true. That's true.
Kirk was like, meh, logic.
Kirk would keep it fun. Spock would keep it orderly. It actually probably be a great experience.
Seeing the tension between the two.
Well, here's the deal. If you're listening and you're thinking, here's what I would want to do. We want to hear about it. And if you will comment on this, would you rather, it will enter you into a drawing to win a stack of comic books.
A stack?
Yeah, and we'll contact you and you can tell us where to mail it. So we're going to post this question all over the place. We're going to post it on our Facebook page, our Facebook group, my Instagram page, in the comments on YouTube, and you can also email your answer to thetelescope@icloud.com.
Just a few ways to be able to answer this wonderful question. We'd love to hear your reasons why if you want to include that as well.
That is 5 different ways
to go on a 5-year journey, or at least to say which kind of 5-year journey you'd like. So Matt got to see Ant-Man, but we don't want to spoil anything, and I have not seen it. I don't want anything spoiled. So we're going to just kind of give a really brief, light overview of it right now, with maybe some light thoughts from Matt.
My thoughts are as follows. Don't believe the negative reviews that say that Phase 5 is off to a weak start. It is not. Ant-Man is a very fun movie. You're going to enjoy it. Go in with an open mindset to just enjoy this for what it is, and you'll love it. I especially liked Kang. He's a very interesting character, great villain. Can't wait to see more of him in future Marvel things. And I had really, really, really enjoyed MODOK. MODOK was kind of a scene stealer and surprising to me, and it was very fun.
I'm actually excited to see how MODOK comes off, because just thinking about a talking head and trying to make that work in any kind of realistic way, as realistic as the quantum realm is ever going to be.
The fun thing about MODOK is that he has a tie-in to the past Ant-Man films. And so it's awesome. When they reveal that character and you learn his backstory, which it's not a ton of backstory, but when you learn his backstory, you're like, oh, that's awesome that they did that. So yeah, MODOK was great. And finally, I'm really looking forward to seeing Cassie come into her own as a hero, and she's Ant-Man's daughter.
And Matt said the post-credit scene is pretty great.
Both of them. There are 2, and they're both awesome.
He wanted to tell me about it, and I stopped him.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, no, I haven't seen it, and I don't want it spoiled. So
she shot me down.
So, stay for the post-credit scenes. So for Picard, Season 3, Episode 1, I'd say I definitely enjoyed it. I think I say that a lot, though. But I did. I enjoyed it.
Is that your official review?
Brief, simple. I enjoyed it. Yes, so there you go. And we're done. All right. Thanks for coming today. No, it was a little more playful in a way. They kind of made some not dad jokes, but some old men jokes, and that was kind of fun. And they're definitely setting it up for some pretty cool potential for storylines. So just a really quick synopsis.
Can I just say I really appreciated that lighter tone? Because Season 2 was so heavy at times with Picard's crazy mom and going into that whole thing with his childhood. It
was really heavy. It was really heavy and kind of really real. You could relate to it in real life a lot. So it's
nice to be back into a mindset where things are fun and it's a bit more of an adventure story.
Yes. And it ties in some old characters with Beverly Crusher, who calls out to Picard for help, and she specifically says, don't include Starfleet. So she's having some crazy aliens chasing her. She left without anyone knowing where she went or why she went. And now Picard and his number 1,
Riker.
Picard reaches out to Riker again, and they end up coming up with a little bit of a crazy plan to try to rescue her, because neither of them have a ship, which is kind of funny.
It's a bit of a buddy movie, right? It's like these 2 buddies going off on an adventure to try to save an old friend.
And of course, they come up with some opposition with a very, I want to say mechanical or very
rigid, anal,
and kind of just downright jerky captain of the ship that they decided to try to utilize to save Beverly. But they come up with 7 of 9 who ends up helping them, and so it'll be interesting to see how much farther that goes.
Something I think is really cool is that they're not bringing these old characters together in a fan servicey way. You don't see these old characters and groan they just found some stupid way to bring this character in. It's very legitimate because they all have relationships, and so this new adventure just sucks them all in a more natural way, I feel like. Episode 1 does a really great job of setting up this final adventure for this crew that we love.
Yeah, we have Beverly Crusher, we've got Rafi, we have 7 of 9, and of course we have Riker and Jean-Luc. So there's quite a few people who've been introduced, and we've got a couple potentially cool storylines with the crazy aliens that are chasing Beverly and, like, obviously want to destroy her. And Beverly's son then, who no one knew about and is introduced. And of course the timeline works where it could potentially be Jean-Luc's son, which would be another interesting storyline. But we don't know that that's actually the case at this point.
There's a subplot involving Rafi, and she's working undercover, investigating some terrorist stuff that really blows up at the final moments of the episode. And so we don't know how everything ties together yet, but it looks really exciting.
And we will find out more soon because it's already midweek and another episode is.
I know.
Just around the corner.
So Picard and Riker take center stage, and they're off on this journey to save Beverly, who, even though there's some strain in the relationship, there's still a lot of love there from their past time together. So they're doing this out of love, really. It reminded us of Jesus. The Christian message is really a rescue story. People are estranged from God, but God comes himself and rescues them and makes a way for them to be in relationship with a holy God once again.
And, it's interesting because Jesus also really kind of didn't adhere to societal norms in how he showed love and rescued people.
So Jesus is a bit of a lovable rogue. He brought people back to the true important things of spirituality and really the ways of God, back to love and justice and mercy and compassion.
And remembering the heart of people, the care for people. He so often did things not in line with what society or what the religion said was okay because of a need of a person.
And that's something that makes Jesus very unique among religious figures. The idea that God would come and humble himself and take on the form of a man and sacrifice his life for his creation that he loves is very unique among world religions.
And of course, we see some of that with what Jean-Luc Picard and Riker are doing.
Well, that was what I was going to ask.
Obviously not a perfect analogy, so please don't take this as a perfect analogy, but you can just kind of see the same thing where it's like, you know what, we've got to remember people, and people are important. I think I've said that a lot. I feel like I say people are important a lot, but they are. People are important.
And this is Star Trek Picard, the final season, they're calling it. Do you think it will be the final moments for some of these characters? Are we going to lose some characters from Next Generation? Or are they just going to go off into the sunset?
I mean, I would imagine we're probably going to lose some.
Oh, who, though? Are they going to kill Picard?
He's going to die someday. Oh, man.
Fun fact,
okay.
They did film Picard seasons 2 and 3 back to back. They're like, let's get this done. Time's ticking.
These are questions that only time will tell when we watch the episodes as they get released. I'll be honest, I was really hoping they would release at least 2 at one time, and they did not. So
Episode 1 was very good, and I cannot wait to watch Episode 2. Well, folks, with that, I think it's time to sign off. Go ahead and make sure you subscribe to the show, again, through Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or your favorite podcasting app.
And look for the question, would you rather go on a 5-year journey aboard Star Trek Enterprise with a captain of your choice, or go on a 5-year journey with Guardians of the Galaxy?
We'll be posting the question to our Facebook page, Facebook group, my Instagram account, on YouTube, and you can also email your thoughts to thetelescopeshow@icloud.com. All right, y'all. Till next time, we love you. Take care. God bless, and bye-bye.